Hi, everybody. I'm Michael Góngora, and we're back with a special episode of The Voice of Miami Beach, where we interview the most interesting people in law, politics, music, and entertainment. And today's episode is going to be entertaining because today we are fortunate to have with us one of the original Real Housewives of Miami, Adriana Moura.
Hi, Michael. Thank you for having me. I'm so pleased to be here. I've been a big fan of yours
Oh, wow.
and your politics and your representation, everything that you represent. And so I'm very honored to be here today.
Thank you. We're so happy because viewers in Miami, we all got to know you as the rest of the world did in 2011 when Real Housewives of Miami came to the screen. But you're originally from Brazil and you have all this interesting background. You studied at the Sorbonne. You speak 5 languages. What is your story? How did you get from Brazil to Miami?
Yes, I am originally from Brazil and I came to Miami to attend law school at the University of Miami.
Oh, like me, go Canes.
Yes, go Canes. Yes, that's the reason why I came to Miami. Yes.
Interesting. So from there, it seems your career veered towards the art world at some point. Mm-hmm. How did you transition from law to art?
Yes, because while attending University of Miami Law School, my original intention was to use my background in art with law and then have a niche market in terms of becoming like an international art attorney, art lawyer, and then representing museums and artists. And so I thought it would be a great mending of the two professions. However, after 1L, I realized that wasn't going to mend so well. And then, so I didn't continue, I didn't finish the school, but then instead, I opened an art gallery on Fish Island.
Oh, glamorous. So you started in a top area,
yes.
Lots of money.
Yes, that's where I was living at the time. And then I realized that I had to just keep 100% to who I truly am in terms of I'm a very creative person. And so I decided just to focus on that.
That is nice. You're a creative person. I've been watching the show and learning more about you. So I've learned you speak 5 languages.
Yes.
We now know you're a musician and play piano. You sing. We've seen you perform at least 2 songs on the show.
Yeah.
So you have a real artistic background. Were you always drawn to the arts?
Yes. My mom enrolled me in the conservatory, classical piano conservatory, when I was 8. So music has been part of my life, my upbringing. And being Brazilian too, that's in our fabric. As Brazilians, we're very musical. But the formal education did help me, express and even get deeper into my musicality. And then up to the point where I wrote and recorded and sung the theme song for Miami Housewives. Feel the Rush is my song.
I like that song. I remember it.
Yes.
It's good.
Yeah.
I still have it on my playlist. Back then it was on my iPod.
Okay.
Speaking of iPods, okay, 2011 came around. Yeah. And for me, I remember the show coming out really well. I was in my 2nd term as a younger commissioner on the scene, and the show kind of burst out, introducing the world to 6 personalities. And for me, I kind of knew Leah Black because I was friendly with her husband, Roy, a lawyer. Imagine that.
Yes.
And you came on and I was like getting to know more about you. And you were kind of quiet, but then you became like a breakout star. How did you get to be on Real Housewives of Miami in the first place?
It was actually thanks to Leah, because the producers came and approached Leah and they were casting. And then Leah mentioned me because Leah and I were really close friends. And she said, I have a good friend that you ought to talk to. And at the time, like I said, I had a gallery on Fish Island and they interviewed me, put me on camera. I did well. And they say, we like you. We like what you are. And the fact that you're a creative type, that you're an art dealer and all that. And that was history.
That's good. And then you were everywhere, promoting events, filming the show. At the time, I think you were living in Miami Beach, right? On one of the islands?
Yes. Then when we started filming, I moved in to Hibiscus Island, yes.
And is that the house that now Lisa Hochstein's boyfriend lives in?
Yeah, isn't that funny? Yeah, so my old house, while I was married to Frederick and raising my child, yes, my old house on Hibiscus Islands was then Lisa's new boyfriend's house.
Okay, people, this is like a celebrity home you want to see when you're in Miami Beach. So, okay, you were with Frederick. You're not any longer.
Yes.
You have a son.
Yes.
From your first marriage. I think he's all grown up though now, right?
Also went to University of Miami, and he's now, just grown up, working, doing his thing. Yes.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So the show for me was so entertaining because besides watching it, I felt like I was kind of living it, seeing you all at different events. I remember clearly like being at a winter party during the first 3 seasons that you were at, where we were filming. I, of course, was like an extra, but watching you all film. So the show was great. It seemed to me that the world, or at least the United States, was not ready to see all these outgoing, fun Latina women that were representing Miami. So the show went on a hiatus in 2013, and we didn't really know if it was coming back. What happened with that?
Yes. Unfortunately, I think the world was not ready for many things, at that time. And I feel like Latin representation was not so welcome, by the mass, viewership. Unfortunately, people still were displaying some bias towards some minorities. And so therefore, I think we were put in hiatus. And I don't know.
So tell us about you. The show was off for almost 8 years. What happened with you personally? What were you doing during that time?
Yeah. So during the hiatus, I was just working, continuing to work as an art dealer and representing artists, traveling all over the world. I was working with artists in Europe. I was working with artists in Brazil. So I was just being an art dealer, staying active on that, raising my son, was going to Ransom Everglades at the time, a very academically demanding school. And so I was just being a mom, raising my child, and exercising my profession.
Nice. So what happened in 2021? The producers called you and said, "Hey, Adriana, we're bringing the Real Housewives back."
Yeah, so I was very happy, and I knew that at one point or another we would be back on, because I felt that Miami had so much to give as a city, as a destination, and as a cast. I didn't think that would be the end of us. And I feel like the world turned around, COVID hit, and then Miami became so desirable and this top, destination that it is nowadays.
Sure. In COVID, everybody from New York and Europe and all over the world discovered that our properties were probably undervalued at that time for them. So they were coming in and buying all these expensive homes. And it really brought us back to be the #1 destination. And what an incredible time to bring back the show. I also remember during the years that were off, I would frequently see you at Art Basel every year. You were always there with a group of gay people. Let me tell you, people, Adriana is an LGBTQ ally. I have always seen you out there supporting our community. So thank you.
Thank you. No, it's my honor, my pleasure. I really connect and respect, and I'm very protective of the LGBTQ community, because I feel like it's something that we need to embrace, and something that we need to be actively on a day-to-day basis, being there for this community.
Agreed. So fast forward, the show is filming in 2021. I'm in my 3rd term now as commissioner. And I get to see you again. I get a call from a producer when I go present an award to one of your castmates, Alexia, at a gay pride. And there you are. The show's back on the air. It's an exciting time. What was it like to go back on camera? Like, was it different? What was the experience for you coming back after this time?
I'm very comfortable being on camera. So for me, it's like riding a bike, just back on the bike and riding it. I don't, I didn't feel indifferently.
I get that about you because I really feel that you're very transparent and very comfortable doing whatever needs to be done to move stories forward, to get your point of view across. I think you're really good at it. And when I was looking at the credits for the show, I believe you are the actually only cast member that has appeared in every single episode of the series from the premiere. There's some that have been in every season besides you, but I think you're the only one that appears on camera in every single show. So you've really been carrying it for a long time.
Yes, thank you. I have been seminal to this franchise, and I feel like, yes, I've been in every single episode since season 1, episode 1.
So, okay, the show came back on. We learned that you are continuing your music career. We saw an episode where you recorded new music with Emilio Estefan that you premiered, or at least performed publicly at Mexico City Gay Pride in front of an enormous audience.
Yes.
So we're all excited for new music. Tell us what's going on with your music career, Adriana.
Yes. So I'm going to be having new songs. First, let me mention that that moment in Gay Pride in Mexico City was one of the highlights of my life.
Wow.
Because not only because of what it represented in terms of the community, but the amount of people. There was over 100,000 people gathered in the historical plaza of Mexico City. And it was such an emotion to see so many faces, there representing and just celebrating, who they are. And to me, I felt so honored that I could perform in front of such audience. It was just a big, big moment for me. And Emilio, who is also, a big ally of the LGBTQ community, and, one of the most influential musical producers, that brought Latin music to mainstream. That was another very, honored moment that I had, to be produced by Emilio, to have a song out with Emilio, and to just be acknowledged, by such icon of Latin music.
Oh, I agree. I feel, being from Miami originally, like Emilio and Gloria are like the king and queen of Miami.
They are royalty.
So
they are royalty.
You're up there with the top. And I love the song.
Yes.
And I thought you did a great performance.
Thank
so
you.
all of you out there, new music is coming. So you got to keep us posted on where we can buy it, where we can see you perform.
Yes. So, we're going to have the finale of the Real Miami Real Housewives next week, the following week. And I'll be performing, a new song. I've actually have 3 new songs that I have written, recorded, and you're going to see some of it at the finale of the Miami Housewives next week on September 25th, 9 p.m. Bravo TV.
I am excited. We are watching, my partner and I, my father, we're all watching the show. All right, so let's talk about, since the show came back, season 4 that came out in 2021 showed you bringing a new friend of yours, a new housewife, Julia, to the cast. And certainly during the initial seasons, you two seemed to be best friends, supportive. This season, not so much.
Yes.
Is there anything you can tell us about that friendship, or what's going on between you and Julia?
Yes. When I brought Julia in, I brought her in because I really wanted to have the first time in the franchise a same-sex couple. And to me, even though I am not, gay, but I wanted to have that representation. I thought it was so important, and I was so happy to be the catalyst of such representation. And I thought that she was somebody that would be a good representative for this community. However, I feel like over the years, I started questioning, is she a true representative of this community? Does she really represent the values and what this community really is? And that to me was kind of leaving a bad taste in my mouth. And then some comments that were made that were, contrary to what, should be the mentality that should be in terms of factions within the community, not factions, but like when somebody or somebody's partner is saying that surrogacy is wrong, or trans women aren't or shouldn't be doing this or shouldn't be doing that. And I started to really rethink, was this the best representation for the LGBTQ community, especially in such big platform like we have?
Yeah, it has been controversial. I mean, I also follow Martina. I am a fan, but she posts a lot of anti-trans messaging. My understanding is it's mostly related to sports, but it carries over beyond sports. And that seems to be a trend amongst a lot of people, that they'll support the L and the G and the B, but not the T. Why do you think that is?
Yes. Well, I think that's, if you're not supporting the T, then are you really supporting the community itself? Because the T, to me, is one of the last, individuals that are now trying to be accepted for who they are. And if you're saying, well, the L, the B, it's okay, but the T is not okay, so then you're not okay with the entirety notion that we need to respect human beings as they are.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I have a problem with that, because you can say that the T's, it's good for this, but not good for that.
Yeah.
Like Lady Gaga said, I was born this way. And if you're born this way and you need to work on being who you truly were born to be, who are anybody else, gay or not, to decide that you can do this, but you can't do that? Now, discriminating within their own community. And I'm really against that discrimination.
Yeah, for me, for adults, once you're an adult, I think you need to be able to make the decision for your own life.
Yeah.
And we should accept those decisions, whatever they are. I'm not in favor of other people telling me what to do with my body. I'm not a woman, but I happen to be pro-abortion. Not pro-abortion, pro-choice. I think the woman should have the choice.
Exactly.
And I think people should have a choice to live as they wish.
Yes.
All right, so let's get back to the show. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
You have had a bit of an ongoing feud with Marisol. We have seen this been going on certainly for the past few seasons. This season, it kind of seemed to be chilled out at the beginning of the season, but now it's come back.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about your relationship with Marisol?
Well, it's very unfortunate what happened between Marisol and I, because I was very supportive of her on season 2 when she got demoted. Her mom had, some medical issues, and I just went out of the way to help her out, included in all my scenes, was very supportive of her. And but then later, when we came back season 4, I start to feel like she saw me as a competition or somebody that was, it became the mojito race. Mm-hmm. And because of that, she felt like I was a strong competitor for the mojito. And then she wanted to, I felt like it was all about denigrating my image, like winning on a campaign with slander, saying things that weren't true. And for example, when I brought a date that was a doctor, her accusing that the doctor was married, saying, and then I had to go out and prove this man had to show up his marriage, divorce certificate. And still, they continued to repeat the narrative and never apologized.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the problem in Marisol, she does her best work in the dark. She doesn't show her hands. And then when you respond to the aggressive behavior, then your response becomes the problem. It's very manipulative.
Well, in a very recent episode, I saw you and the new castmate, Stephanie, having a meal and talking about Marisol. And I felt like that's how it was edited. There's a story coming out there about what may be happening behind the scenes.
Yes, behind the scenes, Marisol likes to stir the pot and, play puppet master. And I feel like when a new girl comes in, like Stephanie came in, if the person is not going to be playing by Marisol's rules, then Marisol is going to bring that person down or do the best to bring that person down. And God forbid that a person like Stephanie that wanted to be fair and, be friends with everybody, have lunch with me, because now you're going against, the godmother or godfather of, what somebody who is actually the mastermind of it all. And if you don't kiss the ring, you're going to be punished. And I feel like Marisol has been punished Stephanie for not playing by her rules.
Wow. I'm going to have to check that out. In all candor, okay, my partner, Benji Ravello, did make Marisol a lot of signature looks. So those dresses are great.
Yes. She does have great fashion taste. That I give to her.
I do think she has a good fashion sense. Actually, you all do. That's one of the great things to watch the show because you all have pretty good fashion sense and it's different. So you get to see different kinds of looks.
Yeah.
I think for some of the long-term fans from the past, we remember your wedding to Frederick where Alexia and Marisol and Lisa, I believe they were all bridesmaids.
Yes.
So you all were unified. So now it seems like there's two teams, You're either like on the team that's friends with Marisol or the team that's friends with you. And I don't know. It seems like, can't we just all get along?
Well, and I would love to get along, and like I said, in the past, when Marisol, Alexia, they were my bridesmaids, they had been demoted and they were not in their best moment. I embraced them. I helped them. I put them in my wedding. I invited them to be my bridesmaids. I included in all my scenes. But, no good deed goes unpunished because now the very, altruistic behavior has turned into a Cold War. Yeah. And I'd love nothing more than to go back to the way we were in the sense that it pains me, to be so adversarial, with Marisol, but she does not stop. She's relentless. We started this season with her prohibiting Alexia from inviting me to the first Outcast that we're kicking the season with. So she's actively on the camera and outside the camera trying to sabotage me as a cast member, trying to ice me out, and that becomes real life. That becomes really hurtful. But again, she hides the hand.
So, all right, I've been seeing that on the show. But how does that play into Julia? Because Julia seems to be very friendly now with Alexia and Marisol. She was your friend. Now she's hanging with them. How does that make you feel? And is there anything that you can tell us about what's happening between you and Julia?
Yeah. Well, it's disappointing, because when I brought Julia in again, trying to make TV history and to have the representation of the first same-sex couple in the franchise, I was really proud of her and I was really happy. And naturally, she wanted to make friends and I was fine with it. Everything was fine until she became friends with Alexia and everything was fine. But then when Marisol became into the picture and I felt like Julia was making power moves, not necessarily based on loyalty and friendship. That I feel like she felt that being friends with Marisol and Alexia would give her more power within the group than not. And therein, laid her decisions of icing me out as well, or, distancing herself from me.
Well, we're going to be watching everywhere all over the internet. It says that there is an explosive moment at the reunion.
Yes.
And I don't think you're supposed to talk about it, but my suspicion is you might be involved because you can be fiery, Adriana, when you want to be.
That's right. I listen, I like to keep to myself. I mind my own business. I'm very busy. I'm pursuing my master's degree at Harvard. I'm very busy, and so I mind my own business. But if somebody comes for me, and especially comes for me with lies and making up stories that aren't true, then you better believe that I'm going to come back, defend myself, and tell the truth.
All right. Well, we're excited to see what's coming. I've been watching, and lately that you have an after show now. So after the show, there's an after show recap, which I really like, where you all talk about what happened. And I see you filming with Lisa and Gertie.
Yes.
Are those the two you're primarily hanging out with and friendlier with these days?
Yes. Lisa, Gertie, and I have always been friends. Lisa and I, go way back since season 2. And I always had Lisa's back because I felt like, Lisa and I always connected. Gertie and I also have been friends, but this season, because the mean girls were actually actively, starting the season by, Julia attacking Gertie, throwing, physically, attacking her and expecting me to side with her when I could not, be in the side of such aggression because Gertie had just come out of cancer. And I had so much respect for Gertie because it takes a real warrior to go through everything and still come back vibrant, glamorous, and trying to continue day-to-day life as if nothing ever happened. I lost my brother to cancer, and seeing him, he was young, he was in the early 40s, trying to fight for his life and then lose that battle to cancer, that has scarred me and has taught me how difficult and how impressive it is that you can survive a disease like that. So I have all my respect to Gertie.
I'm going to share with you as well. 5 years ago, I survived cancer.
Oh.
So I don't talk about it a lot, but yes, I did 2 months of chemo and radiation. We caught it early, and I'm now 5 years healthy.
Yay!
I'm a survivor.
So happy for you.
I've bonded with Gertie about promoting her at a breast cancer awareness event because people that go through such a hard experience, I think, do come back stronger and more resilient.
Right. It takes a true warrior spirit, to pick up every day because, in the back of your mind, there's always that fear. Mm-hmm. But that you decide to silence the fear and have hope and continue to live your best life because now you understand how fickle life is.
Yeah.
Right. I think those are very, deep and powerful moments that will dictate how you carry on from here on,
Agreed. And we got to find the joy in life. So outside the show, you're getting a master's at Harvard.
Yes.
That's pretty impressive. What are you studying? What are you getting the degree in? What area?
A master's in psychology.
Oh.
Yes.
We could really hang. I went to University of Miami. I was listening to your answers. I went to University of Miami and I graduated with a double major in theater and journalism with a minor in psychology.
Wow.
Had no idea what I was going to do, but I liked it. And somehow I ended up in law school thinking I would be an entertainment lawyer.
Yes.
Didn't quite work out. But I love that you are still interested in education. My partner, again, is also getting a doctorate degree now, not at Harvard, but at FIU.
Nice,
but I'm proud of him going back to school at this age and stage of life. So tell us, the show is coming back. We are excited to see its conclusion. We are excited to see you come back. What does the future hold for Adriana Moura outside of Real Housewives?
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I'll be working, with my master's, degree and helping people out. My, long-term goal is to make difference in people's lives and to be able to live my best life by giving back. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference I rather make and like to make, to continue to work in this field, graduate and work in the field that will, help people throughout difficulties in their lives.
I love that. And can we ask, is there a man in your life? Is there anyone special you're seeing right now?
Yes, there's somebody, I mean, it's kind of early stages. Being single in Miami is not necessarily easy.
No.
But I refuse to lose my hope to find the one. And I'm a hopeless romantic. And sometimes I get disappointed. I try something, it doesn't work, but I refuse to be jaded enough not to believe in love. So love will find me. And I believe that, what I seek is seeking me.
Well, I'm sure love will find you. You are a beautiful woman. You are intelligent. You are well-spoken. And you have many, many admirers, people watching. I don't know how serious this is, but guys, we have a single lady on our show today.
Thank you.
So I'm excited to see what the future holds. And I want to thank you for coming out tonight. For those of you that are watching the show, Real Housewives of Miami, Thursdays on Bravo, Fridays on Peacock.
Correct.
Tune in because I'm telling you, I have a feeling there's going to be an explosive moment in the show. So let's give it up for our guest, our Brazilian bombshell, our fiery, educated guest, Adriana Moura. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's been my honor.
Have a beautiful day. So next time, we'll see you next month on The Voice of Miami Beach. I'm Michael Góngora, tuning out.